Hello everybody, we've got a new poll from the old school RuneScape team, so let's have a look and vote in this poll. So this is the old school GE location survey. On Thursday, the 22nd of January, they'll be opening a poll to invite us to vote on some additional questions for the Grand Exchange. This survey is just for us to choose which of the following locations we would like to see offered in that poll. If none of the options are supported, the Grand Exchange will remain as it was in 2007, with a central building in northwest Varrock and no other access point. If you want to see what else is being offered in that poll, please click here for my dev blog video. So, which of these options would they offer in the next poll? First of all, the Grand Exchange should have a central building located in Falador. Now, this is a nice sort of idea. Obviously, Falador has got a nice legacy of trading. Before sort of 2007, when the GE came in, it really pushed it up to Varrock. When old school RuneScape came out, there was support for people trading in Falador, but that just couldn't break the habit of the RuneScape players going to Varrock in order to trade. Also, I'd like to add, I've seen a few people attempt to do a map of Falador with a Grand Exchange in there, usually around the park. And to be honest, I think it sort of ruined the look of the park. So whilst it would be nice to have the Grand Exchange in Falador, I don't think it's the best idea. Next, the Grand Exchange should be accessible in every bank using the existing trading post furniture with no central building. Now obviously that will make the game a lot easier. You can do all your trades pretty much anywhere you like because there's a bank in lots of locations. It'll be really easy to buy and sell things, making the game a lot quicker. Obviously it makes trading across the whole game a lot easier because you don't even have to go to the Grand Exchange building in order to trade. Unfortunately, that might mean that people aren't centralized and they're not going to really sort of socialize much as they do with RS3 sort of Varrock and Grand Exchange. In a way, I'd say this would definitely make the game a lot easier and kind of pushing on to EasyScape, which a lot of people say old school shouldn't be, but I'd argue that the Grand Exchange is EasyScape anyway. But if we were to have the Grand Exchange, I'd rather have that sort of central location. Next, the Grand Exchange should have a central building in northwest Varrock and also be accessible in every bank using the existing trading post furniture. Now, as previously said before, I don't think having the Grand Exchange in every bank to be a good idea. And if there is a Grand Exchange in every bank, what is the point in having a centralized building anyway? A lot of banks are close to teleports, so people will just go there and use that as the Grand Exchange instead. So if that did happen, I can't really see anyone using the main Grand Exchange building at all. Next, the Grand Exchange should have a central building in Falador and also be accessible in every bank using the existing trading post furniture. Similar to what I've said in all the other questions, I don't think it will fit Falador that much these days. Obviously it's nice to have it in Falador because of the old legacy it had, but Varrock now has quite a bit of trading legacy. And I don't think people will go to that centralized location if they do have it in every bank available. And finally, should we have it in none of them? The Grand Exchange should stay in northwest Varrock with no other access points. Now currently a lot of old school players are trading in Varrock, mostly West Varrock, sort of in that West Varrock bank. People are used to going there, and people that play RS3 or used to play RS3, if they use the Grand Exchange, they will be used to going into northwest Varrock for the Grand Exchange. So obviously I like the idea of keeping everyone centralized. So I don't really like the options of having Grand Exchange everywhere and all the banks using the trading post furniture, which is these three middle options. And whilst having the Falador Grand Exchange would be nice, I don't think it's particularly the best idea. So I think it should stay in northwest Varrock with no other access points. So let's go ahead and vote and see what everyone else voted. So far we've got 11,755 votes. Currently, 11.9% of people want the Grand Exchange to have a central building located in Falador. 7.7% want the Grand Exchange to be accessible in every bank using the existing trading post furniture. 48.3% want the Grand Exchange to have a centralized building in northwest Varrock and also to be accessible in every bank using the existing trading post furniture. 10.7% want the Grand Exchange to have a centralized building in Falador and also be accessible in every bank using the existing trading post furniture. And 21.5% want none of them. The Grand Exchange should stay in northwest Varrock with no other access points. So that's an interesting little survey they've got going on. I can imagine them probably polling, do you want it in Varrock or Falador? And then if we want it in all the banks or no banks. If you've not voted in this survey yet, please make sure you vote, make sure they know what you want. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the old school RuneScape updates, dev blogs and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.